Interior MOTC Command Unit. Troutman, looking a bit uncomfortable in Kirkhill's electronic lair, paces behind a seated Special Forces Operations Officer. Troutman chirps up. How long before you're fully online? Kirkhill responds. Couple hours, let me buy you a coffee. He turns to a vending machine nestled in probably between two racks of electronics. Troutman says, You think they'll find any? Kirkhill replies, feeding in change. POWs? I don't know. But either way, I'll get the subcommittee off our necks. Cream? Troutman replies, black, no sugar. Kirkhill. The League of Families leans on Congress. They lean on us. Like we don't have enough to worry about in a dozen dirt water countries, damn it. He pounds the machine, which refuses to vent. Troutman watches the Special Operations Officer banging ineffectively on the coin return amid $1 million worth of equipment. Exterior, flight tent. A tent next to the camouflage canopy serves as a flight shack for Doyle and his ground crew. Crates serve as tables and stools. A 50-gallon fuel drum are the back wall. Doyle and Rambo and Brewer continue the game plan. Doyle says, a couple clicks from insertion, we go vertical to 10,000, and you punch out. Navigate in free fall like a regular Halo jump. You'll have a good moon. Lifer, to himself, says, I got your moon right here. Brewer chirps up, no problem. Duck soup. Doyle notices that Brewer has casually lit up a cigarette. And Doyle says, Hey man, we got fuel on deck. I don't like flying without a plane. Brewer glances at a pool of jet fuel around the pumping area. Rambo plucks the cigarette from Brewer's lips and says, No smoking on this mission. It's not healthy. He looks Brewer in the eye as he flicks the lit butt into the pool of gas, which puts it out. Brewer says, Son of a bitch. Rambo saunters away. I love that part. Doyle, appreciatively, nice trick. Works 9 times out of 10. Exterior base camp, runway at dusk. The steel planking of the prefabricated runway rings under their feet as Rambo and Brewer run laps. Brewer, between breath, is chanting a monologue as they draw near. Rambo, again, Brewer replies. Insertion, call into the base, camp by Transat, proceed to Point Tango, November for rendezvous with our ground contact, Indigenous Agent Ko Fung Bao. In same tone, we've been over this 3 times. Rambo, you stopped. Brewer rolls his eyes. Brewer, Ko Fung Bao. The guide takes us 12 clicks up river to target at Bo peep shit. Rambo flatly. Start over. Exterior base camp night. Face down in the dirt near the flight line, Rambo and Brewer are banging off push-ups under the floodlight. Brewer, mechanically. The target at Ban Kia Na. We probe the site. Rambo to himself, overlapping. 90. He's on his 90th push-up. Brewer continues. Then proceed downriver to extraction point at Echo Delta. Doyle takes us out by helicopter. We all live happily ever after, and that's the last time, Rambo, I swear to Christ. Rambo says, 100. Hits his 100th push-up. They both collapse, face down, breathing heavily. Brewer rises first and says, Getting cold, huh? Rambo replies, Yeah, pause. Second set, let's go. When Rambo rises, it is in push-up motion. Only this time he's using one arm. He starts out 1, 2, 3. Interior, exterior, equipment tent day, D-minus 11 hours. Brewer lifts an olive drab box onto the table inside the open tent. It looks like a large field radio with a complex console set in the top. Brewer says, transporter satellite relay transit. He steps a small collapsible dish antenna on a tripod connected to the box by curly cord. Brewer continuing, the signals coded into infrared pulse, picked up by spy satellite, bounced to the ground station in Okinawa and relayed to the hut. He points to the MOTC nearby. Brewer continuing, no radio source, nothing for the bad guys to triangulate on. Rambo replies, show me how it operates. Brewer replies, that's what I'm here for. Rambo replies, show me in case you get zapped as soon as we land. Brewer frustrated, we're leaving tonight, not in a week. He sees Rambo's expression. All right. Interior, Rambo's tent, dusk. Rambo sits on his cot, hunched over some minute work detail. With surgical precision, he hones the trigger mechanism of a flat black crossbow pistol. Angle, Rambo raises the crossbow, cocked but empty. Click, it fires smoothly, to his satisfaction. Interior, equipment conics night. Close on the shipping grate, as a crossbar pries off the lid. Angle on Brewer, as he raises a telescope-like piece of equipment, wider, revealing Brewer surrounded by shipping crates. He sets the scope on a long empty table and attaches another crate, working it under a harsh fluorescent lighting unit. Several close angles, jump cuts. Brewer pulls electronic test gear out of the bubble pack and sets the units on the table. He lifts an automatic rifle and checks the action. Another electronic gadget joins the growing array on the table. Another smaller automatic, a MAC-10 machine pistol, is lifted out of the packaging. Close as Brewer's hands thread a silencer onto the MAC-10. Interior, Rambo's tent. Tight on Rambo's hands, holding a Special Forces Lyle knife, he runs a whetstone along the blade methodically. Interior, equipment conics. Brewer is calibrating his Starlight Scope image intensifier using a waveform oscilloscope. Satisfied, he begins mounting it atop the assault rifle. Interior, Rambo's tent. Very tight on Rambo, working in almost total darkness, streaking his face with 2 shades of green camouflage makeup. The makeup is unearthly. Interior, equipment conics. Brewer, wearing headphones, is running a calibration tone through the audio processor of the telescopic microphone. He clamps it onto the assault rifle. Interior, Rambo's tent, tight on Rambo's hands. Covered with green grease paint, using a candle, he expertly darkens the blade of his Lyle knife. Interior, equipment conics. Brewer is standing at the end of a long table which is now laid out like a banquet, with an incredible assortment of gadgets, weapons, supplies, kits, canteens, rations, etc. Doyle lounges nearby watching the bugs dogfighting around the fluorescent work light. Rambo, OS. You jumping with all that? They turn to see Rambo watching them from just outside the pool of light, a spectral figure. Brewer glances at the array of stuff. Yeah, why not? Rambo replies, you break your leg, I'll have to shoot you. He turns and vanishes in the dark. Doyle chirps up, I think he means it. Brewer replies, crazy fucker. Doyle replies, well, son, you got that right. Anybody ever tell you about that guy? Brewer turns quizzically toward him. What about him? Cut to exterior runway night. D-minus 28 minutes. Tight on the turbojet intake. A black maw. The vanes begin to turn. The rising whine becomes a steady roar. CU fuel coupler. As a ground crewman disconnects hoses from the sleek black fuselage. On Peregrine, wider. Camera on Peregrine. As the blue fire roars in the exhaust throat, the air convulses. Wider. Tracking a van. Moving beside the black ship past the wing to the rear door. Tight on van. As it comes to a stop, the side door filling frame, lifer enters shot, reaching for the door latch. Interior van. Total blackness until light spills in from the opening door. Rambo sits statue-like, hands on knees, wearing a black blindfold, adjusting his eyes for night vision. He's dressed for the mission. Tiger stripe camis, jump pack, shoot pack, hands and face modded with camouflage grease paint. Ferocious looking, demonic. Lifer leads him out. Exterior, airfield. Dollying before Rambo, being led as if to execution. Blue and red taxi lights send strobe flashes of color across his face as he approaches the aircraft. That would be an amazing shot. Interior, Peregrine. Rambo is led to the seat next to Brewer. Troutman helps Lifer strap him in, plugs in his intercom jack. Brewer eyes him cautiously. He'd move away, but all the other seats have been removed. Doyle, voiceover filtered. Ready to roll, Lieutenant? Rambo adjusted his headset. Let's do it. Troutman chirps up. Keep it clean, Rambo, or I'll nail your hide to the shed. Rambo, you got it, sir. Troutman exits and steps are rolled away. Interior cockpit. Doyle is all business now and says, Zen roller coaster requesting clearance. Voice from beyond, filtered. You are cleared, Zen roller coaster. Exterior, Peregrine. The wheel jacks are pulled. The jet rolls forward. Exterior, airstrip. The aircraft hurtles down the runway, gathering speed. The nose picks up. It clears the end of the runway and then the tree line by a few feet. Interior, passenger compartment. The interior is lit only by a single red light above the door. Brewer watches the forest below through the open doorway. The door itself has been removed. The roar of the airstream is ferocious. Exterior, Peregrine. A sleek silhouette above the moonlit forest. The jet flashes across the rolling terrain just above the treetops, moving with the aircraft as it dips and rises with the land's contour. The rain forest below is a rushing blur. This is known as some serious flying. Interior cockpit. Doyle is hunched forward, nose inches from the canopy, eyes wide, drinking in the jungle. All the lights in the cockpit are turned off. Furman uses a taped over pen light to read the instruments. Doyle is beyond instruments. Furman chirps up. Switching communications to burst mode. Interior, MTOC. Kirkhill and Troutman are hunched at the main console. Technician. AWACS 2-5 are required. They are holding timeline. Troutman watches the glow dot representing the drop jet crawling almost impeccably across a computer-generated map of central Laos. Exterior, Peregrine. The sleek jet races toward the towering enemy's range ahead.